Welcome to Wander Mode, a podcast that wanders through topics such as entrepreneurship, traveling, and mamahood. As a teacher turned entrepreneur and a mama to one, I am sharing my tips and tricks to maintain harmony in a multifaceted life. Let's wander. Welcome to another episode, Wanderers. Today, we are diving deep into imposter syndrome. We are exploring how it can sneak into our lives, and I'm going to share some strategies on how you can fight it. First, let's chat about what imposter syndrome is. Imposter syndrome is that nagging feeling that you are not as competent or successful as others perceive you to be, despite evidence to the contrary. This is a phenomenon that affects people from all walks of life, but it does tend to be more pronounced in high achievers, perfectionists, those venturing into new roles or environments. It might come as a surprise, but some of the most esteemed figures in various fields have grappled with imposter syndrome. Let's take, for instance, Maya Angelou. Maya Angelou, the celebrated author and poet who received numerous awards and accolades throughout her career, was no stranger to self-doubt. She once confessed, and I quote, "I have written 11 books, but each time I think, they're going to find out now. I've run a game on everybody, and they're going to find me out." Then there's Neil Armstrong, the legendary astronaut who became the first person to set foot on the moon. Despite his historic achievement, he carried the weight of imposter syndrome most of his life. He often downplayed his remarkable journey, and he expressed discomfort with the level of fame and attention that he received. At a gathering with artists, scientists, and writers, Armstrong once mused, "I just look at all of these people and I think, what the heck am I doing here? They've made amazing things. I just went where I was sent." The individual replying to his statement said, "Yes, but you were the first man on the moon. I think that counts for something." These examples serve as a poignant reminder that feelings of inadequacy can touch even those who have achieved remarkable success, even those who have had widespread admiration. It is crucial to understand that imposter syndrome is not confined to the realm of celebrities. It is not confined to accomplished individuals. It is a common human experience that can affect anyone, no matter where they are in life. Let's take the instance that you were recently promoted at work, and you have now found yourself in a position with more responsibility and more expectations. Or perhaps you're asked to speak at an event, and those nagging tickles of self-doubt are just hammering away at your self-esteem. Or you might be a first-time parent and you're making it look effortless to those around you, but you're dealing inside with all of your doubts and insecurities. Imposter syndrome does not discriminate, and it can actually manifest itself in numerous ways. It can strike at any moment, but recognizing it is the first step toward addressing and conquering it. So let's break down a few of the ways that imposter syndrome can manifest itself, and I'm going to share some personal examples that help illustrate these different manifestations. The first, perfectionism. Perfectionism can be an unrelenting challenge. It can lead us to set unrealistically high standards for ourselves, and we feel inadequate when we inevitably fall short. This struggle has been all too real for me, especially as a partner and a mom. In my pursuit of perfection, I used to believe that I could seamlessly juggle my numerous responsibilities. I aimed to be the super parent who effortlessly managed the school drop-offs and pickups while diligently preparing perfectly healthy homemade meals daily. In my quest to be the ideal partner, I strived to be mentally present and wholly disconnected from all of my tasks whenever my partner and I finally had some precious alone time to hang out and catch up. I was committed to never criticizing or questioning his parenting strategies. I always aimed to be the ultimate supportive and understanding partner. However, as many of us come to realize, the pursuit of perfection in these roles is not only exhausting, but it's often unattainable. It leaves us feeling perpetually inadequate, and overcoming this aspect of imposter syndrome requires acknowledging that it's okay not to be perfect and to rather strive for harmony and have some self-compassion instead. The second way that imposter syndrome can manifest itself is through overworking. Overworking is the drive to work excessively to prove your worth, often at the expense of your well-being and work-life balance. So, as I've talked about in previous episodes, I faced this when I was managing 6 rentals while simultaneously teaching and coaching a high school program. I believed that I could give my all in each role, but ultimately it was unsustainable. I was sacrificing my well-being and my work-life balance. It was affecting my physical and mental health, and something needed to change. This was an aspect of imposter syndrome that I needed to face head on. Imposter syndrome can also take the form of discounting achievements and comparing ourselves to others. These tendencies often lead us to downplay our accomplishments. We might attribute them solely to luck or external factors rather than recognizing our skills and efforts that got us to where we are. I distinctly remember experiencing this when my husband and I decided to embark on a consulting and a course business. So many doubts crept in, making me question the value of our advice and our expertise. It sometimes felt like maybe we were just merely fortunate rather than genuinely knowledgeable. Before leaping into entrepreneurship, we frequently compared our aspirations to those of successful YouTubers, and we'd avidly listen to what they had to say, but then wondered, well, why would anybody give us the time of day? Why would they listen to us when they could tune in to established figures? It was a very humbling realization when we thought about the fact that every journey is unique and our achievements resulted from hard work. They resulted from dedication, from a wealth of experience, not just merely a stroke of luck. And that is a story and a strategy worth sharing. The final manifestation is accepting praise. Accepting praise can be a significant challenge, and I think it is particularly so for many women. I feel that a lot of women are predisposed to imposter syndrome in this way due to societal expectations or feeling the need to perhaps appear humble. Receiving credit is a complex journey. We all crave love and recognition, yet many of us carry deep-seated doubts about our self-worth. However, it's crucial to recognize that accepting compliments plays a vital role in fostering healthy relationships, not only with ourselves, but also with others. Over the years, I've actually been actively working on this aspect of myself. Instead of instinctively brushing off compliments, I am learning to pause and reflect on the genuine value of what others are saying about me. It is a process of shifting away from self-doubt and shifting toward self-acceptance. I've just given you several manifestations of imposter syndrome, and I'm wondering, do any of these manifestations strike a chord with you? In which areas, as I was describing them along with an example, do you find yourself grappling with imposter syndrome? Is it when you're surrounded by seemingly perfect mom friends as you question your parenting abilities? Is it during a high stakes presentation or a pitch at work when you feel like you're not measuring up? Is it when your friends compliment you and you hesitate to accept it? If you are wrestling with these familiar feelings of self-doubt, I just want you to know that you are not alone. And no matter where imposter syndrome rears its head in your life, there are actually effective strategies to help combat those nagging feelings. So let's talk about some of those. So the first and most essential step is to acknowledge that you're dealing with imposter syndrome. You can't address something that you're not aware of or that you don't want to face head on. So recognize your feelings for what they are, accept them as valid, and start to think to yourself, how am I going to begin to respond to these things? That leads us into the second strategy, which is monitoring negative self-talk. Pay so much attention to your negative self-talk. Call out the thoughts and beliefs that contribute to these feelings of inadequacy and challenge them by seeking advice to the contrary or considering what sort of alternative viewpoint you could have about a situation instead. Next, a strategy you could use that I actually started several months ago is journaling. Consider keeping a journal to track your thoughts and your emotions, and over time, you'll notice patterns and triggers that ultimately may be leading to your frustration or the feeling of being overwhelmed. Additionally, journaling can highlight moments in which you have been proud of yourself, and it may also clarify the direction that you want to be going. From there, you can seek inspiration. So surround yourself with sources of inspiration like audiobooks, YouTube channels, podcasts. All of those things may feature individuals that are in a similar space to you. Or perhaps you start to follow people that are in a more positive mindset phase of life compared to yourself. Learning from their experiences can help normalize mistakes and challenges, and they will help remind you that everyone faces setbacks on their journey. The next strategy is setting realistic goals. Avoid striving for perfection. I have to say this to myself all the time. Julie, avoid striving for perfection. I never would have started this podcast had I allowed myself to strive for perfection on every single episode. I never would have posted the first episode. Even as I go back all these episodes later, it sounds so cringy to me. However, I accepted that I was new to this. I accepted that I had a lot to learn, and I let go of that need to strive for perfection, and I accepted that I was doing my best with the tools and the knowledge that I had at the time. So I set realistic goals and expectations for myself, and then stop comparing your life to those who appear flawless, because that will only lead to more frustration. Instead, focus on practical, achievable objectives that reflect your unique circumstances. Finally, embrace learning and growth. Shift your focus toward continuous learning and personal growth. Rather than fixating on perfection, like I shared, you can focus instead on acquiring the new skills and experiences that will hopefully allow you to do something better, if not perfectly, down the road. Visualize your success as a journey of growth and development. It is my hope that these strategies empower you to confront imposter syndrome, however it is rearing its head in your life, and that you are able to cultivate a healthier, more confident mindset, that you remember that self-acceptance and self-improvement go hand in hand, and that overcoming imposter syndrome begins with acknowledging its presence in your life, and then go out and embrace your potential. If you wandered to this point in the episode, thank you for listening to the Wander Mode podcast. Please leave a review and subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at WanderModeCo. Reach me by email at julie@wandermode.co. Until next time, wander on.